Okay, good morning everyone. This is Juan Pablo, teacher speaking. Welcome to another section of English 101 from Colombo English Speaking. So, this is one of the first videos I'm going to make for you about recorded classes in order to you for watch your this class recorded on your after class, after the academic schedule. So we in class we can have normal activities, okay? Now, pay attention to this. Reminder, stop the video as many times as you can if you can't understand something. Take notes and write all the questions you have about the topic to solve them in class. Practice this topic on your book and don't forget it. Now, don't forget that learning English is the best. So, now, today's topic is subject and object questions. Before I start talking about that, we are going to talk about what is a subject and what is an object. In a sentence, we talk about subject when someone or something is doing the activity. For example, Mary works in a bank. In this case, the subject of the sentence is Mary. Mary is the subject. Why? Because she is performing the activity. She is doing the activity. And what is the activity? Works. That is the action, the activity. Now, we are going to talk about the object when we are going to refer to a thing or a person that receives that action. In this case, it's not Mary anymore, but it's the bank. Why? The bank is the one who is receiving the action. Think about for a moment, think about that Mary is a football player, okay? Let's suppose Cristiano Ronaldo. And the action is the ball. So works, the verb work is the ball in the game, and a bank is the goalkeeper. Okay, maybe it can be, I don't know, Piera, or it can be Buffon or another goalkeeper you like. So the one who receives the ball, the football ball, is the goalkeeper. So it means that the one who receives the action is the bank. Now, remember that subject are the ones, person or thing, that performs the action. An object is the opposite. It's not performing the action, but is receiving the action. Okay. Now that you know that, let's continue to the subject and object questions. When do we use the subject questions? Well, easy. We want to know, when we want to know who or what does the action, we use the subject, uh, the subject, uh, the subject questions. Okay, who works in a bank? Mary works in a bank. Okay, Mary works in a bank. Take into account that the one who is working and the one we are talking about is Mary. You can answer in two ways. Okay, the first one is Mary works in a bank, and you can answer just Mary. Who works in a bank? Mary. But if you want to say Mary works in a bank, is also acceptable. It depends on you. Now take close attention to the image. The only one here who is highlighted is Mary, not the place that she's working, okay? Not the bank. Now, if you're going to take a look now on the object questions, it's going to be completely different. When we want to know more information about what the subject is doing or where, okay, where we are going to talk about where, when, why, how, etc. We are going to focus on the object, okay, not the activity that the subject is doing, but the activity that the object of the sentence is receiving. Let's use the same example. Where does Mary work? Mary works in a bank. In the past sentence, we can see that we have the same sentence, but the difference is that Mary was the one who was highlighted. In this case, it's completely different. We're going to talk about the bank, the one who is highlighted. Now, in our image, we can say that the bank is the object that is receiving the action. And which is the action? Work. Action. This is the action, or verb, if you want to say that. So, how can we know that that is an objects question when we are going to talk about where? We have another ones. We can be why. It can be, I don't know, how much, when, for example, or what. Okay? That's the object of the sentence. Okay, when we're going to talk about not about the person, not about the object that is doing the activity, but about the thing, about the object, about the person who is receiving that activity. In this case, nobody is receiving the activity but a bank. The bank is receiving the activity, so it's not a person, it's an object. Let's continue. Now, pay attention in these two questions. We have where does Mary work and who works in a bank. Both are the same. Both are okay. The difference is that on the first one, here, we are talking about the subject. On the second one, we talk about the object. Okay? No, I'm sorry. It was upside down. Sorry. Talk about an object in the first one, but we are going to talk about the subject in the second one. Okay? As you can see, the object is referred to where, and the subject is referred to who. Okay? You can use the same with everyone. The difference is the verb, is the structure. So I'm going to explain you more about it. Give me a moment. I'm going to show you sentence by sentence. Now, I am going to tell you about the structure of the object questions. This is a sample sentence. Jeremy bought a nice mug in Ireland. This is the object question. What did Jeremy buy in England? What? We're talking about an object, okay? As we can say, the subject of a sentence is Jeremy. What is the object? We're going to talk about the mug, okay? You see, we have the Jeremy, it is the subject, and the nice mug is going to be the object. Now pay attention to the answer. He bought a nice mug. So, as you can see, the object is the mug, okay? A nice mug. And the subject is going to be Jeremy. Again, here is he, but we know we're talking about Jeremy also. He bought a nice mug. So the mug is going to be the object of the question. So we can say also this. What did Jeremy buy in England? A nice mug. That's it. Because we are going to ask about the object as well, and we're not going to talk about who bought the mug, because we don't know what we bought. We don't know what Jeremy bought, but now we know that it's a mug. Notice something important here, and it's like on object questions, we are always going to use the auxiliary. In this case, we're talking about past simple, but the auxiliary in object questions is always present. So it's going to be the WH question, the auxiliary, the subject, the verb, and complement, if you want to say that, and the question. It's going to be the same. It's going to be normal questions you can see on text, reading comprehensions, and stuff. Those are normal questions you're going to see normally in the daily life when we talk about English in class or even in a book. Okay, but it's going to be different when we're going to talk about subjects. Now let's go to another question with object questions. Jeremy bought a nice mug in Ireland. We're going to use the same. What is the difference? That we're not going to talk about what, but we're going to talk about where. Where did Jeremy buy this nice mug? Now that we're not going to talk about the object, is not really the mug. It's not anymore. What is the object as well then? I'm going to show you the example. In Ireland. So as you can see on the example we have here, Jeremy is the subject. And now Ireland is the object. Because we're not going to talk about what, we are going to talk about where. So it's important for you to pay attention to that. Oh, we're going to talk about where. Where did Jeremy where did Jeremy buy this nice mug? In Ireland. And you can say also, Jeremy bought a nice mug in Ireland, if you want to say that so, but it's going to take you more time. So, but they are the same, I mean. You can answer both questions. Notice that the auxiliary still is there. So it means that we know that it's an object question. Now, how is the structure of the subject questions? Well, easy. Jeremy bought a nice mug in Ireland. We are going to talk about Jeremy again, but the difference is the question. Who bought this nice mug in Ireland? Jeremy. And how can we know that we are going to talk about the subject when we are going to mention who? We can talk about also about what, but in this case it's not what, but who, because the only action that allows you to buy is a person. Every person can buy, but not a dog, not a house. I mean, objects cannot buy anything. So, in this case, we're going to talk about the person. And who is the person in the question? And the answer is Jeremy. And the answer is Jeremy. That's it. That's easy, completely easy and stuff. Okay. Now, pay close attention to the question. I'm going to show you something important, is that the auxiliary is not here anymore. Where is the auxiliary? We don't know. Now we know that the auxiliary is not there anymore. Why? Because in subject questions, the structure is going to be different. And the structure is going to be the WH question is going to be the verb as it is on the sentence, and complement plus the question mark. Oh, I had a problem here with the complement, so I'm going to say complement. Okay. So the WH question, what is the WH question? Well, easy. We're going to talk about the WH question as who. What is the verb? Where is the verb? Verb like the sentence. How is the verb of the sentence? Both. So you're going to use the same time tense. So it's going to be both again. And the complement, the nice mug in Ireland. Don't forget to talk about the question mark. You see? The question mark. So in subject questions, we are always going to talk about who or what. What object, what something did that. Okay, let's see. Let me erase this. Okay, don't do this on subject questions. That is prohibited. We cannot do that on subject questions. Who did Jeremy buy this nice mug in England? I mean, that's weird because we're not going to say. I mean, we are talking about who. We are going to ask about who, but we have did, we have Jeremy. So what does it mean who? I mean, does it really works about that? It doesn't have any sense. So what you're going to do is like this. Who bought this nice mug in England? Because if you're going to talk about Jeremy in the same question, you're basically answering the question without saying it. You don't have to say, you don't have to ask that then if you know the answer. So pay attention to the sentences. Jeremy is not here. Who is here? Did is not there. Buy, we're going to use buy in past. We have this nice mug normally, and we have England. What we don't have, sorry, is did Jeremy buy? We have both. We don't have who both this nice mug in England. That's how it works. That's how it has to be worked. For example, who goes to work on Mondays? Who goes to work on Mondays? It depends on the person, but we can say Pedro. Yeah. He, she, it. It not. I'm sorry, I'm just joking. So it can be whatever of those ones you can choose, because we're talking about the person, okay? But if we say, where is he working? For example, where is he working? We're going to talk about another type of information, which it can be in a bank, in a school, in a farm, for example, a bank, in a school, in a farm. It's going to be the same, as you can see. Oh, I had another mistake here. Let me erase that with a lot of parts. In a bank, in a school, in a farm. Why? We are talking about where. We are not talking about who. And here we are talking about who. So that's the difference between an object question and subject questions. Now, conclusions. On the conclusions, my friend Will Smith showed you that with object questions, we are asking about additional information of the activity made by the subject. Remember the bank? Yes. With subject questions, we are asking about who or what did that action, the person or the object as well. Compare the images and take a look at it. Now let's going to do a small activity in order for you to practice. What you're going to do is that I am going to ask, I am going to show you the questions, and I am going to give us a little space for you to choose. If you want to choose, just stop the video and think about the answer. Now, the question is, who works in Columbus School as a teacher? What do we have here? We have A, teacher Juan Pablo, B, in Columbus School, or C, hello. What is the question? What is the answer? I don't know. Choose. So the answer is teacher Juan Pablo. Why? Because we're talking about who. We're not talking about who. We're not talking about where. We're not talking about hello. So pay attention to what you are watching. Where is she sleeping? 1, the girl. 2, in a bed. 3, Stop, teacher. I know. How to stop. It's not going to take too much. What is the answer? Take a look at the question. The answer is in a bed. Why? Because we're not talking about who, but we are going to talk about where. Easy. The last one. What is she doing? A, the girl. B, inside the room. Or C, she's dancing. What is the question? How is the answer? Yes, the answer is she is dancing. Why? Because we are going to talk about the activity she's performing. Why? We know that is she, so we are not going to ask who. We know that it's not where because we don't have the question where here. We don't have it. We have what. So we are talking about the activity. Take a look at the verb, doing. It's going to be different. So that is the end of the class for today. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have any question, write on your notebook the question. So when we have classes, you are going to ask me and I'm going to solve everything you have. I recommend you to study and practice. You have this on your notebook. Yeah, I'm sorry. You have this on your book, so you can do this as much times as you can. You can practice even in computer games and stuff. So we see you later, my friends.